Let's finish that DevOps thing, shall we? Come on, let's go push something to prod. Welcome back to episode 3, the conclusion of our DevOps series. Today we are going to take the Canvas app that we placed into source control and we're going to push it to our production Power Apps environment. Just to give a quick recap and to set the stage for what we're going to do today, we see here in my default environment, I have a solution. Within that solution, I have an app. A very simple app. How simple? This is how simple our app is. Remember, the app itself, it doesn't really matter in this example. We just want to prove that we can move an app from one environment to another. So, yes, this app is slightly different than the one in episode 2. I was doing a little bit of playing with my release procedure in between videos, so I had to destroy the other solution. However, this will serve purpose today. That'll show that we can move it from one environment to another. So again, we have our app, episode 7. This is an app within our solution for DevOps. Now the internal name for this solution and the external name are the same, solution for DevOps. And we're going to place it in our production environment here. Now this is a simple environment. I did you can see it's a trial environment for Dynamics. That gives you a second environment. My licensing doesn't have space for 2. But we can see here we do not have that solution, nor do we have the app in this environment. So that is our goal, is to get that app into this environment. Second recap. The build that we did shows here that we are exporting both solutions for unmanaged, or same solution, both unmanaged and managed. We are going to import the unmanaged solution today. And we have as a variable solution name, and this solution for DevOps is our name, and we're going to use that. Now I've run this. We can see in our Azure DevOps repository, solution for DevOps, you can see I've been doing some other experimentation. In our managed and unmanaged. And again, we're going to go ahead and get this unmanaged solution. So what do we need to do? So today, we are going to build a straight release. The build, quote unquote, that we did in the previous video simply got our Canvas app into our repository for essentially source control. Today, we're going to take that item in from source control and we're going to put it into our production environment. So we come here, Azure DevOps, we are in releases, and we are going to create a new release pipeline. Let me get myself out the way here. Hi. We're going to start with an empty job. We have here, we can call stage name. Again, I'm not going to judge what your methods are in Azure DevOps. But the first step, however, is under artifacts, we'll determine where we are getting our source. Now, if we click here, we have options. Now, if you want to, feel free to adjust that you're going to take a build artifact from our previous video and have a continuous DevOps chain. We're not going to do that today. Today, I want to have just an independent release that goes from source control into production. However you want to do this, again, is up to you, but for today we're just going to show the steps involved in packing and importing our solution and not necessarily a great lesson in Azure DevOps. So I'm going to go choose my Azure repository. Again, I don't have a whole lot going on in this particular DevOps repository, or Azure DevOps repository. So I'm going to pick my defaults. So I have my project and my source. In this case, I name the same. I only have one branch. I'm going to take the default for the latest version and just kind of note our alias. That comes into play in a moment. And we're going to hit add. So that gets us our artifact. Again, if you wanted to, you could have this take the artifacts from the build in the previous step. But again, we're not doing that. We're going to come in here again and set up a variable. We're going to add solution name. And we're going to paste in the solution name from our build. Make that easy. Go back to our tasks. Okay, well, first, We'll name it something nifty. We'll go to our agent, and the only thing we truly have to do, unless you wanted to rename things, was again to allow our scripts to access the OAuth token. From there, we are going to add some tasks, again, search for power, and this is comparatively simple to the build. First, in everything you do here, you have to add the tool installer, and if you think of what we did in the previous, we exported our solution, and then we unpacked it. So we're going to do the opposite for our release. First thing we are going to do is we are going to pack our solution. So we have Power Platform Pack. Then we are going to import it into our new environment. And finally, we are going to publish our customizations. That's it. Very simple, straightforward. The tool installer, again, we're not going to adjust this in any way. We are going to accept and use the default versions of all the tools being installed. To pack the solution, now we have to go find it. Now here, if we hit the ellipses, we're going to go take a look. And we know we're going here to Solution for DevOps. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this because it's going to establish our path. And then I'm just going to take this and add in our variable. I just like to do that. But that establishes where we are getting our source. And now we have to tell it, well, what are we going to do with that? We're going to have to pack a zip file. And for that, we are going to use a part of Azure DevOps' directory structure. So here, we are going to use the staging directory, build, B-U-I-L-D, /, and then we're going to use our solution name .zip. Real easy. All we need to do is establish something as a file name that we're going to use in our import step. Now again, I am doing the managed here. If you want, you can do, I'm doing the unmanaged. You can do the managed, but make sure whichever one you choose, it matches. So unmanaged in the path, the type of solution, you have the options. We are going to choose unmanaged. They do not work otherwise. And the control and output variables are just left as default. Next, we go to import, and we are going to choose our service principal. And if you remember back from the previous videos we've established, there has to be a service principal account for each environment. This determines the path of where Azure DevOps pushes your solution. So in this case, I have created one for this new environment. You will have to for your production environments or for any stage environment because the URLs will be different. How to do that, please reference the other videos. And then our solution input file. We look back at our pack. We grab that solution file. We drop it in here. You can do input as async. I just uncheck it to make sure it all goes together. Here, the only ones of these that I will choose, I'm going to overwrite my customization, so our future releases will overwrite existing files, and I choose to skip. We are not importing as a managed solution in this case because we're unmanaged, so I'm leaving that unchecked. And again, control and output are left as default. Finally, we go to Publish Customizations. Again, we choose our service principal, and leave the rest as default, and that's it. These 4 steps are all you need. We hit save, and we create our release. Nothing really to do here. We see release 1 has been created. Let's go check that out. We will click here, and we will wait. All right, as you can see, our steps are queued up in Azure DevOps. Some of these are going to take a while, so do a bit of editing. I'll see you on the other side. All right, we see we are done. So let's go ahead and check. We go here, we refresh. I don't think I needed a refresh. Nope, there it is. Solution for DevOps. And our app is there. Episode 7, this is an app. We go to apps and, wait a minute, It's not there. Why? Now, this is the part that I beat my head against the desk on for way too long when I was figuring this out. And the short version is, the solution is brought in, yes, but the app is not brought in with any sharing at all. So no matter what you set in the previous environment, it does not carry over. And that's to be expected because your development environments are going to have a wider audience, likely with more control over what they can and can't see. The developer class is going to have Maker. You don't want to necessarily push that forward. So what you need to do for the first time only when you push an app is you need to go into the admin center, go into your environment. We'll do a quick refresh here because I got a lot. And go to your app and go ahead and do the sharing that you need. So we see here, I've already gone to my environment, to my environment and to the Power App. So if we go back, I'll do a quick show. We go to our environment, and off to the side here under Resources, we see Power Apps. And we are going to come to here. We're going to share. And this is where you're going to set the sharing that first time around. So I'm going to choose me. I'm going to hit share. Ding. Now if we go back to our environment and hit apps, we see our app. And so that's it. Our app is now available for use here in our production environment. Our release is done and DevOps is complete. Reusing that particular pipeline in the future as your app grows or changes, everything now is set up, and now it's really just down to what you want to do to customize your Azure DevOps experience. But the basics are all right here and laid out for you for DevOps. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry this was a set of videos that probably went on longer than it should, but the steps involved in these can sometimes be a little confusing. They were for me the first time, so hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. See you guys.